This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today as we get set to do the NHL Bracket Challenge for the year 2023, featuring, you see down there in the bottom left, very bottom left, our favorite team, the team that's going to win it all, the Edmonton Oilers. But here's me spitballing how they may indeed end up beating out every other team through 4 rounds to win the Stanley Cup this year. Without further ado, friends, I'm going to move myself a little bit smaller, move myself in the upright corner here, and we're going to go over here and try and figure this all out. So we're going to go here to the NHL Bracket Challenge and figure everything out we need to know, and I'm going to see if this ends up going. Obviously, I think we all have, number one, a pretty good feeling as to how the Colorado Avalanche will do in round one, getting into, well, potentially round number 3 against the Oilers, where the Oilers would have home ice. But before we get any further than that, friends, I am going to ask you right now, if you're new to the channel, to consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. Would love to have you aboard for the NHL playoffs, especially the live streams, especially all the fun action we'll have going on. So definitely make sure to consider hitting that subscribe button throughout the video, and let's finish this off. So Dallas, Minnesota, that one could be a toss-up. This one is going to be an absolute mess of a series. And just for the sake of it, for my friends that I hold dear down there in the Minnesota area, well, guess what? I'm going to go with the Minnesota Wild right there to win it all. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights versus Winnipeg Jets. This one, another toss-up matchup that could really go either way. I know obviously a lot of people would say, well, Vegas is going to win it because they're the best team in the West. But what I will tell you is Winnipeg's got Connor Hellebuyck. We're Oilers fans. We've seen what that guy has done. You know how it'll go. We'll see what ends up happening in the series. But just for the fun fact of, we're going to have to see the Vegas Golden Knights in the second round, should they win, or the Winnipeg Jets. What I would prefer to do is play the Vegas Golden Knights, because I don't want to play aforementioned Connor Hellebuyck. But as I've said, there's no real guessing when it comes to these series that feature the Oilers. This is a homer bracket, 100%, but I've been homering it all year. I've been telling you it straight up throughout the entire season, from before the first puck drop against the Vancouver Canucks in October. I said the Oilers will win the Cup this year, so right there, we will choose the Oilers right there. So, here we go. Bonus round, Western Conference bonus round. What do we want? Colorado in 5, Minnesota in 6, Vegas in 6, and the Oilers in 5, as I said last night live from my car. So submit that. There you go. That's what we need to know. I'm just going to frame this back up a little bit here. And now we go from here to the Eastern Conference, my friends. And I think, honestly, I know who I want in the Cup final with the Oilers, so that's no question that Boston's going to win round 1. It'll be Game 7, heartbreak for the Toronto Maple Leafs at home yet again, with the Tampa Bay Lightning crushing them. Expect different results, doing the same thing. It ain't going to work for the Leafs. Carolina's way too strong this year. And New Jersey, New York, that is a fun one. But I will tell you, if the Oilers are to get to the Cup final, I need Carolina facing New Jersey in the second round, because if you flash back to 05-06, you might find a series back then. So like I said, I think the Boston Bruins will sweep the Florida Panthers. Just, hey, you know what? Either they're going to get upset by the Panthers, or they're going to get swept. That's how it is. Tampa Bay, excuse me. Ooh, bless me. Tampa Bay, like I said, in 7. Excuse me again. And then the Carolina Hurricanes in 6 over top of New York. And the New Jersey Devils in 7 over top of the Rangers. It won't be an easy series, but the Devils will advance. So that is what you need to know there. And then when we come back over to the Western Conference, you know what, like I said, I think that Winnipeg can beat Vegas. So why would the Oilers not be able to beat Vegas? And I want that rematch in the Western Conference final. This time the Oilers will punch through. So the Avalanche right there in the final with us in the Western Conference. Bruins versus Tampa. That is this year's team of destiny versus the past few years' teams of destiny. So Boston, though, punching it through because you know where this is going. I don't have to tell you where this is going because you know, and I need Carolina punching through over top of New Jersey for an instant classic between them and the Bruins. Why? Because I need the Bruins to get a little beat up. I need the Bruins to be a little weaker than potentially they should be after the second round, and the only team to do that is the Carolina Hurricanes in the third round. Beat them up right there. The Oilers, healthier. No Gabe Landeskog for the Colorado Avalanche. No Nazem Kadri. There's a couple of things missing from the Avalanche from last year. And honestly, health is going to be their biggest problem. The Oilers have it right now. If they can maintain it throughout the playoffs, we're hoping they can. They're off to the Stanley Cup final, as I've been saying since the beginning of the season. And I think there's no other better way to have it for the first time in 33 years for the Oilers to win the Cup than to face the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup final in the year 2023. So that's where we're locking in right now, friends. We're locking in with the Bruins and Oilers at... Sorry, I'm just seeing if my mic was out or not. It doesn't look like it. Bruins and Oilers at the Stanley Cup final. And if you need one last guidance here as to how this is all going to break down, it is going to be the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. Now, obviously, number of goals scored, I put 62 just to have something there so it wasn't blank when you came in. If you're averaging 5 goals a game, the Oilers winning in about 6 or 7, right? Give me that instant classic series. We're going to make a lot of hay when the sun shines here on Dolynny TV this spring. You know what? Let's go 37 goals in the series. Good to go, friends. That is my bracket. I hope you can sit here and say the same thing. As I'm really thinking, right? You go down to Colorado over Seattle, Colorado over Minnesota, Colorado falls to the Oilers in the Western Conference Final. For Boston, they go all the way over top of Florida, Tampa, and Carolina. Right? I want the best series possible out of this Stanley Cup this year. And I think right there, the Oilers winning over top of the Bruins, winning Canada's first cup in 30 years, winning their first cup in 33, and beating the Bruins in the Cup final would be a pretty dang special way to do it, friends. So that's where I'm sitting at for the Stanley Cup Bracket Challenge today. Is, yeah, you know what? You can call this a homer bracket. You can say I didn't spend very much time on it, but I will tell you, really all I care about at the end of the day when it comes to winning this Stanley Cup is the Oilers just have to go from that bottom left to the middle of the screen with the highlighted box around them as you see here. I don't care how it breaks down anywhere else, but just to throw together a bracket for you. I think the Devils do beat the Rangers. I think that will be the tightest series of the first round realistically. I know I said Tampa Bay over Toronto in 7, heartbreak at home, but that's one of those where Toronto will win one convincingly, Tampa will win one convincingly. It won't be a whole bunch of overtime, and then maybe overtime for heartbreak on home ice for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know I'm making fun of the Leafs a little bit, but hey, you know what? It's playoff season, and that's what we're here to do until proven otherwise. Friends, the Oilers in 5, 6, or 7 over top of the Bruins in the Stanley Cup final. That's where I think it's going to sit. So that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Stanley Cup Bracket Challenge edition of Dolynny TV. The first one I've done in a long while. So glad to have you aboard. And you can see too the chin strap goatee styled up for the playoffs. I look forward to bringing you playoff coverage here on Dolynny TV all spring, summer long. We'll talk to you soon. And as your head note, if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. Would greatly appreciate it. I am up on out of here.